Today, I'm joined by Diljit Brar, CEO and owner of Goldex Group, a multi-award-winning F&B, leisure and property group, as well as one of the largest Costa Coffee franchises in the UK. So, hi, Diljit.
Hi, Simon. Thanks for that great build-up.
How are you today?
Very well, thank you. Very
Good,
well.
good. Well, thanks for joining us. So,
Yeah.
Diljit, tell us a little bit more about your businesses, but also your journey to your businesses as well.
Okay. Well, I'll try to be fairly prompt and quick with that because it goes back a long way. I left school when I was 16. Didn't go to university. Didn't go to college. I wanted to just go out into the world and work, and things were quite fortunate. Something I'll share with you, with the listeners, was when I actually left school at the age of 16. I was one of the brightest kids in the class, and I'm not showing off. The next bit is quite important,
Mm.
but because I didn't want to go to university, so I left school and I went to work in a shoe factory. And really, what it was a sweatshop. It wasn't a shoe shop, a shoe factory with conveyor belts and how someone might imagine a factory. But when I got there, I cried for about 5, 6 weeks, thinking I'm too good to be here. But once I got to grips with where I was and and how life was, we moved on. And I was fortunate; things went well, and I was self-employed in about 9 months from joining there and supplying similar shoe factories with heels, components, parts of shoes. So from there, within a few years, I built up I saved enough money to build up to buy what was an ex-co-op into a sort of a mini market operation, Rochester Road in Rochester.
Yeah,
It's
no,
the
yeah.
shop. The shop is still there. It's a little sort of laid by, just past the schools on the right hand side, um, and then sort of just started as a serial store owner from there on. Big break came in 94, 94, going into Lakeside Shopping Centre with newsagents and then eventually post offices, of which I had three in Lakeside, Bromley, and over in the Glades. So carried on from there, sold those businesses off in 2003, went into doing property development, did a lot of property development, which is something we still do and we still run with, and joined into the Costa franchise business at 2005. We opened our first stores January, February, March, free on the bounce, three stores, one in Woolwich, one in Hornchurch, one in Orpington, and didn't look back really from there. We grew to 15 stores in 3 years, which is what we signed up for. And we got to 75 Costa stores over a rapid sort of 6, 7, 8 year period. I can't remember exactly how long. Sold some stores off, and then we invested more in property and some other brands. And now, long-winded answer to your question, but now we run several brands. We're one of the largest Costa franchisees. We also run Costa internationally. In Morocco, we own the brand Casper's Desserts, 110 stores across the country. Also international expansion. We just opened our first few stores internationally. And we now opened, we have gyms, workspace in Margate, and as well as a Donna Gyros. We have several Donna Gyros. We own the brand in the UK, and we have 5 stores, which is a kebab QSR type business. So yeah, that's kind of the journey, brings us up to date. We have a large portfolio of residential commercial properties that we rent out. We occupy some, and we have coastal breaks, so all around the Kent Riversides, across Broadstairs, across Margate, down to Hythe, Westbrook Bay. So that's also very enjoyable. That sprung out of sort of just after the COVID period.
Yeah, wow. Look, what a journey. What a journey. That's
Sorry, long answer.
no, look, that's fantastic. I thank you for sort of explaining that. So, so it, what made you sort of start to want to be a business owner? I mean, you mentioned there that you know, you worked in this sort of factory sweatshop, but why did you then decide to become a business owner rather than just going, do you know what, I'm going to get another job?
I just fell into it, actually. It was it just kind of happened. One, I have a real work ethic. My mother worked incredibly hard, and you know, I saw from her nothing comes easy, and hard work gives results. So just I always wanted to work. My ambition actually was just to work to make enough money to have a market stall. I had a market stall, absolutely hated it, Simon. So got out of that fairly quickly. You know, 4 o'clock in the morning, you wake up, you drive for an hour and a half, and in winter, gosh, the metal poles stick to your hand. You know, it's like frozen to you. Absolutely hated it, but you know, it's good learning and good training from your early days. But it was always in my mind from as young as I can remember. I wanted to have my own business. I wanted to have a sweet shop, and I wanted to just be able to eat whatever sweets I wanted. From really, really young, I used to think once I get a sweet shop, I can eat and have as much candy as I want. But we had 5 sweet shops, but you know, when you're surrounded by sweets and candy, it's not what you want to eat all the time. So it was kind of always in my mind. I don't know where the thoughts really came from, but I always wanted to have a business.
Yeah. Okay. And that we shared before we sort of started this, that I started sort of my career off on a market stall as well. So I absolutely resonate with where you were coming from. And actually, you may well know it. You mentioned sort of Lakeside there. So it shows how long ago I actually had a market stall when Lakeside had a market, which is where the IKEA now is in Lakeside. So on the car park there. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so I get where you're coming from, and it teaches you a lot, you know, that side of things. So a lot of the businesses that you've got now, Diljit, are franchises. What made you go down the route of you know, going into bed with other with franchises like Costa Coffee, etc.?
Yeah, well, I looked at many different businesses. Well, after I sold my stores in 2003, when I sold all the sweet shops and eventually the post office and so on, I had a break from retail for a couple of years, and then I really missed retail. When I wanted to go back, I looked at various brands. I did some training with McDonald's. I didn't like their model. I looked at KFC and couldn't actually get into KFC at the time. And Costa was fairly new. They just started franchising about 8 months or so before we joined. And so I looked at the model, and it looked like a very simple model. They teach you everything. So the benefits of franchising is they teach you everything. They teach you the model. They supply you all the products. They do all the marketing, and it's as easy as running a business can be. So all you have to do is smile at your customers, welcome your customers, keep the store clean. The brand does everything else. So it's sort of foolproof. And I wanted to go into a business where I could grow very, very quickly. I wanted to just accumulate stores. We wanted to grow a big business. And in coffee shops, it doesn't have to be Costa. It could be any of the big brands, Starbucks or Pret or whoever. There's not a lot of high value items for staff to steal. So several things I learned during our sweet shop, CTN, tobacco, etc. Cigarettes cost a lot of money, and the insurance on the store is also very expensive. And if you lose products such as tobacco, it hurts. So if staff are stealing products, something like that, and it's very hard to grow your business in CTNs because it's very high value goods and there's a lot of cash as well. So we wanted to go into something fairly safe, secure and easy. There's not much theft. If someone broke into a Costa, there's nothing to steal. Coffee machines worth about 6K, but bring a plumber and electrician with you as well. And a van because they weigh a ton. But so you know, there was a lot of thought actually went into it. If we're going to grow a business and grow the numbers, how do we scale a business? and what business do we choose? And we were fortunate, came in the early days, signed up for 15 stores in 3 years. The model was 5 in 5, and we delivered on what we set out to do. So
Yeah.
very, very, it was a lovely way to get into sort of real business, if you like.
Yeah, I like it. Okay. No, great. Thank you. And look, one of the things that that really came across to me, Diljit, before, when I was doing research for this sort of discussion, was your focus on team. Looking at your website, there's a lot of things on there. Just one thing that I picked up from your website, that you said, our people make us the best in our field of business. We're always recruiting, always looking for the jewel to help us grow even bigger. So tell me a bit more about why team is important to you.
Well, when you want to grow a big business, Simon, unless you've got a great team around you, you're going nowhere. If it was just me, I'd struggle after 3 or 4 stores. You just can't make it happen. You need area managers, you need operations managers, you need accounts. It just goes on and on and on. And the bigger you get, the bigger your team grows, and it becomes very important. So my job then, at some point down the road, just became managing the team. Bringing in talent, the right people, and doing the bits that you can't do, or bits people do a lot better. So tech-wise, I'm the worst. I had trouble getting on the call with you earlier. So, you need people to do things that you struggle with, but there's a huge area that you can do the work of 5, 6 people probably. I mean, I never stop. I love my work.
Yeah.
But without the team, without the right people, it's so hard. And your business is successful or fails due to your team. And whoever comes in, especially at sort of a mid-higher level, I will always interview them. I don't get a chance to interview people at sort of baristas or shop staff anymore, but anyone coming in, I will always have 2, 3 interviews with the people. And it's very important because, one, they know a lot of sensitive info, so you've got to choose the right person, but then also you want to invest your own time into that person, and it's got to be a certain type of person who comes on board. Our team, we're very community focused and very community based. We like to work within the community, UK, Morocco, wherever we are. We always try to integrate into communities. So in Morocco, for instance, this year we just launched the Costa Book Awards. We've called it the Goldex Costa Book Awards, and it's a chance for aspiring Moroccan authors to do a book in English. So we're the only company now sponsoring young authors to write in English in Morocco. Costa actually dropped the book awards in the UK, and it's something we'd like to pick up, but I don't know if we've got the funds to be able to do the UK one. Yeah. However, it's something that we're doing here in Morocco, and it's a new venture, and the support we've had from the British Embassy over here in Morocco has been amazing to help support with education and so on. So that all, and the team builds and buys into all of that. It gives you a sense of purpose, not just purely working there. We've got the Goldex Foundation now. We work with several charities within our area in the UK as well. We support football teams and so on.
Yeah, and I saw that you're involved in building schools and overseas and all sorts of things. Which is fantastic, giving back to that to the community. And I noticed that you're again, I think it said on your website, your mission is to work hard, create, innovate, and do your best to make the world a better place with pride, passion, and personality. Which again, I thought I love that. I thought that was really good. So what do you see now that your role's very much changed, I guess, Diljit, over the years from working sort of in the business to working on the business? What do you now see as your main role as as the CEO and owner of Goldex?
Oh gosh, it changes all the time, Simon. So really, it's just at the moment the economy in the UK is so bad. So navigating the economy is the most important thing at the moment, and not overstretching, but just looking for the next big thing, if you like. So we just opened our second gym. It's a ladies only. Looks like we've created a bit of a niche there. It's been off to a flyer. Absolutely amazing. So our eye is on sourcing and opening another 2 gyms this year in the UK. We've just bought, I can't tell you the brand, but I've just bought the master rights to one of the biggest beverage companies in the world, 3,000 stores. So we've just got the UK rights for that. It'll be something we'll be able to launch and tell everyone within a couple of weeks, but very exciting again. And it's trying to spot things before others, really. We work in hospitality, we work in food and beverage, and everyone's trying to find the next diamond in the rough. So let's see how it pans out.
So you see one of your roles as finding those opportunities. Like, well, first of all, steering the way. What you were saying there is, about the economy, the UK economy, and helping your business and your team steer through that. But also seeing the opportunities in the future, and then getting the team around you, the right people around you, to take advantage of those opportunities. Have I understood that correctly?
Absolutely, yeah. Very, very important. And we have to keep growing for not just for me. I mean, I love work, so I always want to be doing something, but for our team as well. And our area managers to become operation managers, our operation managers to be given a chance to grow past that as well, take responsibility. It's just great for everyone. And anything new we do, I give everyone the same opportunity. My people that work in the office, they are now development managers on our business. All sorts of things, many different things. Just because you start at one level doesn't mean you're going to stay there. And the joy of running a business and seeing fresh people come in, their development and how they grow. Some people, within a year or 18 months, sort of sitting up there, and others are sort of bobbing along. And it takes a whole range of people. But to see somebody come in, ideal candidates for us are people fresh sort of out of university with a good degree. The only thing I look for is they've got great maths and great English. Nothing else matters to me. Everything else, it's for me to teach. So somebody like that, they just soak up, like, is the phrase everyone uses, like a sponge. They just quickly, if they've got the enthusiasm, they'll learn everything you want them to learn and more. And within a year, they're flying. And that's what really motivates and gets me really excited about seeing that person shine and growing and really giving it all their best.
And I share your view on that. I mean, I adopt the policy of, hire on attitude, not necessarily on aptitude. So actually about who they are they ambitious? Are they, want to learn? Are they that sponge? I think that's really, really important. And you've also got a workspace brand as well, haven't you, Diljit? Have you opened those yet? Have you got them up and running?
Yes, so we actually franchise with Regis Group. IWG is the brand. So HQ by IWG, but we've sort of amalgamated our Goldex ideas into that. Open today, actually. We've been sort of pre-opening for about a year, but actually, this week it went live. Forget the day. Yeah, today. Actually, today. Yeah.
Is that the one in Margate?
In Margate, yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
We'll get some learnings from that, and we'll quickly do second and third one, maybe in the Dover area or maybe Ramsgate.
Brilliant. Okay. And who do you look up to, Diljit, as a great sort of leader? Who do you sort of, let's say, if I can put it this way, aspire to be like or to follow? Is there any sort of great leaders that you
Well, I'm very fortunate. Some of my best friends are just amazing businessmen.
Yeah.
I won't roll off any names. Don't want to embarrass anyone, but one of my friends, he's got almost 300 Domino's stores
Right.
and a massive property portfolio. Nicest guy you're ever going to meet. Very humble, very normal. Another one of my friends has got about 130 KFCs. People will be able to suss it out if they Googled who it was.
Yeah.
Hotels, he's got Taco Bell, he's got Costa, and another one owns. Actually, I can't say he doesn't like to be named, but they own master franchise rights within the
Yeah.
country. Some of these guys, they run businesses which they're bigger than most multinational brands. Although
Yeah.
most of them are through the franchise world, they've got 250, 300 stores of various franchise companies in their portfolio, and every one of them has a huge property portfolio. So if you imagine, oh gosh, I can't even think of a brand. I struggle. I don't know, let's say Nando's. I don't know how many Nando's there are in the country, but 300, 400 maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
some of
Yeah.
these guys have got that amount of stores and no one knows who they are.
Yeah.
But they're very modest, very normal guys, and it's those kind of people you can actually learn a lot from.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit different. Probably a bit more loud about things. These guys sort of go under the radar.
Mm.
Not that I show off. I just like our name to be out there. We're actually trying to build our own brand, and we do franchise out in a couple of different things, and we'll start to franchise a lot more as Goldex name brand becomes bigger over a period of time.
Okay. Look. So there's one question that I like to ask everybody that comes onto this sort of this podcast and discussion is, what is the best advice that you would give an 18-year-old you?
Oh wow, an 18-year-old me or
Yeah. So
somebody else?
if you could
Gosh,
go back and speak to an 18-year-old you, what would you say
yeah.
to what would you say to yourself?
Probably look like I'm showing off. I'd just say keep doing what you're doing.
Good.
We can always look back in time and think I've done this wrong or I've done that wrong or could have changed this, could have changed that. But the mistakes we make over a period of time, that's what makes us who we are.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change anything. I've made a lot of cock-ups. I've made a lot of mistakes over time. But if you change those, would you still be here at the level you are now and doing what you're doing? If you corrected all the mistakes you've made, we make mistakes, we learn, and we move on. And a lot of business people, when you hear them talking, they'll say, "Oh, it's the failures that make you what you are." I
Mm.
wouldn't quite agree with that. Obviously, mistakes, failures, similar kind of thing, but some people crumble under that pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't. But on a different base, my daughter's going to be 18 in a couple of weeks, and to her, I'm telling her not to go to university. And I don't want anyone to say or think or read into this that I don't like university or anything, but
Yeah.
I'm telling her not to go to university for at least a year, take a gap year, come and work with me and learn a whole range of different things to what she's going to learn in university if she goes in a year down the road. But really, Simon, I'm hoping she doesn't.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's not for everyone, but everyone gets kind of corralled into that mindset. It's good for some people. If you're going to be a doctor, if you're going to be a dentist, if you're going to be this one or that one, you need to go and do all of that studying and learning. But most people go and spend 3 or 4 years and they come out, they still don't know what they want to do. And it's not for that person. You're better off going into the world of business or into an apprenticeship or something where you're going to get better real life training skills. We can't all be brain surgeons and so on.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't change anything for myself personally, but for my daughter being 18 and that's the advice I'm giving her right now.
I like that, and this is look, it is always very sort of personal. And by the way, one of the reasons I asked this is because I've got an 18-year-old sort of daughter as well, so I like to pass on to her this wisdom that that people share on this. And by the way, you know, I didn't go to university myself either. I did ultimately do a degree in financial services and business management, but you know that I didn't actually go to university to do that. You find your own path, and I think that's what, you know, one of the things that you're
Yeah,
doing now.
people get pressured, and I think it's got worse over the years. And so my daughter's just gone through all of her sort of final exams, and she's like, "Oh, what if I fail this? What if I don't do it?" I said, well, "Don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You know, as long as you've done your best, don't worry about anything else. Look at yourself in the mirror, say, I did my absolute best. And if you don't hit the grades that you want to or you're expecting to, as long as you can say you did your best, nothing else matters." And the level of pressure
yeah.
on some of the young kids is too much.
It is a
But
lot. It is a lot, and I completely agree, and I absolutely share your view there in terms of as long as you can look in the mirror and say, I did my best. That's all that matters. And I like the other bit of advice that you said there as well. And I find this is a common theme actually with business owners and entrepreneurs that I speak to. Although the ones that look at the mistakes that they made and look at those as it's just a route to become being successful. I have to go through these sort of learnings and this route to be successful. Whereas some other people will get pushed back from them. But I have noticed that, you know, there is a common theme from a lot of people that I interview on this, that actually they looked at those mistakes and said, actually, no, this is just helping me to get better towards where I want to get to. So I think that's another piece of great advice that you shared there as well. So
well, it's important to learn. You know, you never stop learning, and even now, I learn a lot. And a lot of people say, "When's enough enough? When will you stop? When will you retire? When this one, that one?" And I always say, actually, as I'm getting older, I'm learning more, and I'm
yeah,
getting a lot better at what I'm doing. And things that seemed hard a while back just seem so much easier. And
yeah.
you know, it's accumulating knowledge and also making a lot of connections as you go sort of up the world in business, and you get to meet some incredible people.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, amazing people, and I absolutely agree. You know, I've got the pleasure of speaking to and you know having a network of some amazing people. So, well, look, Diljit, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today and sharing more about, you know, your businesses and your journey as well. So, thank you very much.
That's been lovely. Thank you so much. Cheers, Simon.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Great.